I'm recording this for current me and future me to look back on and observe the outcome. I am working with a hotel right now, and some things are not exactly what I expected, and some things exceed my expectations. And there are the rest of the parts in between that are allowing me to observe myself and grow, and I'm appreciative of that. And this experience has made me reflect on my life. A friend and I, sometime last year, were talking about life cycles and life patterns. And being here made me see just how true it really is. For me, I always have really interesting challenges that happen around this time of year leading into the fall, but I didn't realize it until I got here. And I felt the familiar energy, and something in my brain just clicked. And I'm thinking to myself, how do you move when things aren't what you expected? How do you move when the opportunity isn't wrapped in a pretty bow, but it's still an opportunity? I've been thinking about challenges as well, and noticing the cycle of what happens repeatedly in my life. I've stepped into the challenge and I see it for what it is. But now that I have the awareness that I am in a cycle, I've also stepped outside and I've observed that, in fact, it's a challenge within a challenge. So last year, for example, I was in a situation that allowed me to make good money and allowed me to travel and get paid to do so. But the environment and the people weren't exactly in alignment with the frequency I want to be on. And I was talking to my friend, same friend, who told me about cycles. And he was like, either way, the decision that you make is the right decision. And that's one of the crazy things about life, is like, it really is. And that's what makes it so nerve-wracking, especially for a recovering overthinker, is truly every decision is the right decision because it's ultimately the one that you're going to make. And it also makes me think of that movie, Mr. Nobody, like how he goes to that high-tech facility and he just looks at all the possibilities and outcomes for his life, and he ultimately passes away from all of that overthinking because it's not healthy. And in the end, the choice that you made is your choice. And I'm learning to reconcile that for myself. Like, whatever you decide is correct. There's really no point in overthinking. Yes, there really is no point in overthinking, because whatever choice you have to make, your gut and your body will tell you what is right for you. And instead of using all that energy to debate, trust yourself and then think about what is going to happen and what could exist in the choice that you decide on. That way you can strategically move and decide how to make the best outcome out of what you decide. Because not all the time do we make the right choice, and not all the time the choice that we need to make is easy. But yes, the challenge within the challenge. So it's making me observe, and I'm thinking, this challenge that I'm in, is it a challenge because it doesn't meet my expectations, but I can still make the most out of the opportunity? Or am I actually being given a choice to decide what's actually best for me, and not programming myself to believe that in order to receive amazing opportunities, I have to stress, and it can't always be in true alignment. Like, am I programming myself to believe that when opportunities come, it has to come with some sort of caveat or drawback? Because where I am currently, I'm not really able to lean into my spiritual practices, lean into my health, lean into meditating, yoga, things of that nature. But the opportunity is providing me with shelter, food, experience, learning, being in the capacity that I want to be in, which is traveling and making money, working with hotels. So I've just been sitting with that. Is it a challenge that is not what I expect? Or is it really the challenge within the challenge that, regardless, it can be this and you can overcome it if you want, but is it actually what is conducive for your health? And your health is what matters most. Or is there a beautiful in between? Maybe taking my care of myself in this season just looks slightly different. That's another reality too. And it's just so interesting how life works and how life comes to teach us, and how sometimes not everything is clear. But that is the importance of having a clear mind, because sometimes you have to work for clarity and be able to see the complexity of the choice that you need to make. Sometimes it's not just A or B. Sometimes it's A, B. Sometimes it's just adapting to